Raw, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Raw hits, Raw review. What is going on with WWE Raw, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on with WWE Raw? WWE Raw has the lowest ratings of all the times. Wow. That is a lot. That's saying a lot. The 25 years that Raw has been on the air, and it has the lowest ratings of all time now. And so this past week, unfortunately, they were able to get to the lowest of lows when it came to ratings. So quite unfortunate. And it's like at this point, who do you blame it on? It's like who in the world do you blame? Yeah, I mean, who in the world do you blame it on? It's one of those things that it's like you can't say Roman Reigns. You can't say, oh, okay, well, let's just blame it on Roman Reigns because it's convenient. You can't do that. But so what else do you do? What do you do? How do you how are you able to really atone for these terrible ratings? Without, I see the chat coming up. What's going on, Gabriel? Yeah, what do you do with the terrible ratings, man? It's like, of course people would be quick to blame, okay, well, Roman Reigns is the champion now, and so we're gonna, blame it on Roman Reigns. But that's a terrible way to blame it on, because they haven't been really booking Roman Reigns very well. Because I like the Shield deal, I like all that, but at the same time, it's like, they haven't done a really good job really making people excited about watching the Raw product. And you can say, okay, Brock Lesnar made it better, but Brock Lesnar was hardly ever there. So and so quite sad, man. Quite sad. I think it's going to be a really tough way to get out of that for sure.
It's some things to think about too. Not the things, some contributing factors. That I was saying earlier on my show, we mentioned on air. One, it's NFL season.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever the NFL is on between now and January, Raw's ratings are going up. Monday night is on to Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Ever since the Monday night, after the Monday Night War, and after about 2003, 2004, since then, when the NFL really became the ultimate juggernaut, it's all about Monday Night Football.
Yep.
So Raw's ratings by history have always suffered when football is in season. And then, of course, yesterday you had a lot of shows. They had their season premieres and what have you. But so that's some things to think about too. Because even when Cena was champ, or Orton, or even Punk, or Daniel Bryan, or NFL season numbers for Raw was either low or was just okay.
Mm-hmm.
But never like this. And like you said, think about it. If people complain about Brock, the difference is, even though Brock was on TV every week, Brock still has formidable opponents.
All right.
You got excited. Okay, Brock had to deal with Joe, or Strowman, or Reigns again, or Reigns for the 15,000th time, or Strowman and Reigns, or Rollins, or Cena, or Goldberg. Brock is champ, had formidable opponents, the way you can get excited to say, okay, Brock could lose, or Brock has legit contenders. Rollins is champ. There's no one challenging him singly for a title.
Yeah.
He said with a booking Reigns, is it Reigns in the Shield?
Mm-hmm.
It's the door, what do you call them? The War Dogs,
Dogs of War, yeah.
You did not present anybody singly. Because, like you said real quick, Rollins has a feud with Ziggler. He's Sassy champ, so he's feuding with Ziggler, but also, and rivals can face other people. Ambrose, when it gets 1-on-1, they can easily fight other people.
Yep. Yeah.
Reigns is champ. Who's challenging him 1-on-1? Reigns doesn't have anyone, and I don't even count Strowman for real. Who does Reigns have as the ultimate threat?
Yeah.
No one.
Yep. And it makes it very difficult. It makes it quite difficult to put people interested in the product when there's nothing to say. There's nothing to give to make us excited about. So it's quite sad, man. And I don't think WWE's doing any. I don't think that WWE is doing us any justice by having just random, continued triple person feuds right now. There's really it's quite clear that people just aren't happy about it. So and I think that's I think that the tough part is the fact that it looks bad on Roman Reigns, and it shouldn't be a Roman Reigns thing for sure, and I think that's really at the end of the day, it's like who's to blame it on? Of course, the booking team, but it just seems like it's the crazy thing is that it's a downward spiral when it comes to the ratings and the interest, but the stock keeps rising up. So WWE's doing what they're supposed to be doing in that sense, but overall, anything else, it's like there's the interest there is just not there. So all right, so we're getting some questions. Hashtag ask Chris. Of course, we're going to have some fun tonight, as we always do. Let's jump right into the trivia. Here we go. This former WWE wrestler was known for being attacked by Roddy Piper during a 1984 Piper's Pit segment. This former WWE wrestler was known for being attacked by Roddy Piper during a Piper's Pit segment. The sad part of that is that he's from my hometown. So that's the sad. He was from my hometown. I think he's passed away now, I believe. But he was unfortunately beat up by Roddy Piper because Piper was rowdy before Rowdy was cool. And this person got beat up. Let's see what y'all get. All right, let's get so another thing with Raw is that Brie Bella. Let's talk about some Brie Bella dog. Man, and I'm a Booker T guy, and my man Brie, and but the unfortunate thing with Brie Bella, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of subjects going on, topics going on, as far as a lot of chat going on with as far as Brie Bella is concerned. Was it Brie's fault? Was it Liv Morgan's fault? I've heard both sides, but at the same time, I think this is what people need to focus on, and I watched, Total Bellas, a couple of them, I've watched Total Divas. I watched the first season a lot, a couple of them, but I tell you, and I was really pulling for Brie because I remember the times that I would watch it. Brie Bella would talk about how much she would want to get back into the ring, and I respect that, and I really wanted her to succeed. However, oh man, people are botch mode, botch model, botcher. Oh goodness, murderer. Someone said, oh no. Oh, it's getting real up in the chat room now. um, so yeah, GSP saying mistakes happen. This is what they signed up for recently. The first time I've heard of not being safe. See, well, here's the thing though. You know, I think I was just having a conversation about this earlier. Um, I think that with Brie Bella, she's really excited to come back. I think that's quite evident. I think it's evident that she's really, really excited to come back. But the problem is I think that her husband's one of the greatest wrestlers in modern, in the past 20 years of wrestling. Period. Not even WWE, but pro wrestling. Period. And I think you have a wonderful teacher when it comes to that. However, I think the biggest issue right now is that it seems like Brie is kind of overly excited to get back into the ring to the point that it's a detriment to her opponents and even herself. I mean, the suicide dives she tried was like, almost lived up to his name, unfortunately. And it was just a really, a couple other things that she botched on, and people are just like, it's gotten to the point where like a lot of people on social media are like, get rid of the Bellas. Here's my thing. I like her feud with Daniel Bryan, alongside Daniel Bryan. I understand that Maurice is gone. She's being a mother again. I respect that. But why is Brie Bella the only person who gets the rights to be on Raw and SmackDown? I don't understand that. That I love, people make mistakes, and I think this was a Brie Bella thing. She should have been safer. I think it's no doubt on that. People make mistakes. I do understand that as well. But why in the world does Brie Bella get the privilege more than Roman Reigns, more than John Cena, more than, although he's a free agent, but he still can't. He still doesn't flop from one place to another. He stays on Raw for a few months and go on SmackDown and vice versa. The Undertaker has been on Raw mostly. Shawn Michaels, Triple H. Out of all the legends of the WWE, a part of this whole brand thing, and all the top names, the like I said, the Roman Reigns, the Seth Rollinses of this world, you got Brie Bella, who's able to compete on both Raw and SmackDown. So that doesn't make any sense to me at all. So yeah, it's it. I don't know if the WWE is going to have enough faith in her continuing to compete with these botches. Unfortunately, Eddie is saying Kane, but even with Kane though, even with Kane, he still stays for promotion for a while. He doesn't flip flop every. Like Brie Bella is the only person that literally flip flops, and she's the only person who appears on Raw and SmackDown every single week. Now Kane was in Raw. He was at SmackDown for a little bit when he was feuding against like the Wyatt family. And then he went to when he attacked Roman Reigns, we had this heel turn. Then he was feuding with Strowman for a little bit, and so then he went back to SmackDown and teamed with Daniel Bryan, and now he's coming back to Raw, for the Undertaker. He flip flops like Cena does, but there's still no one in the WWE right now who literally just competes for both brands at the same time, but Brie Bella. So I don't understand what that privilege comes from.
That's right. Do you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that. Still a little delay on my phone. Yeah, for Brie, after this happened, it's not Ballet. I know she was getting, annihilated online with botches, but let's remember something. One, Nia Jax almost killed. Um, almost killed Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
And almost killed Bailey's arm off and dropped Sasha Banks on her head. And I said this earlier too. And I had someone, one of our fans asked and say, "Was why is there so much heat on Brie and not on other people? Because of the spotlight she's in. She's Daniel Bryan's wife. And, there's botches that happen all the time. Booker T went against Rick Martel.
Yeah.
Raw 8, Rick Martel was injured. And, you can go down the line. Triple H, roughly Randy Orton 2 years back, and Orton's shoulder separated. RVD dislocated edge of the jaw. When I look at Seth Rollins, with Sting and Finn Balor and breaking Cena's nose. But accidents happen, and it's pro wrestling. It happens. It was a mistake. It wasn't intentional. Thank God Brie was able to drag her back in the corner. And Kane body slammed Regal back in 2002, I believe. And Regal, similar thing, was knocked out cold on live pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It happened. That's the nature of the business. The one thing I have heard a lot of people are more upset about is they feel that Brie kind of went and did a half-butt apology on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that's one of the issues. A lot of people said are saying, I'm sorry, is, the Bellas are not in the business of hurting people. Sorry, getting our thoughts, which I have to agree. It's like, come on, man. Apologize, something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Sting said it when Rollins injured him. Rollins is more concerned than Sting was. And Rollins followed him to the avalanche. You see it all the time in injuries. Nakamura dropped Cena on his head.
Mm-hmm.
So Nakamura asked, "Are you okay?" That happens. But I think the backlash is mainly because of Bree's half-butt apology.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. A lot of people don't like that too. Lexi saying she jogged about the neck. Let's see if there's some extras questions. Did Liv get that brass ring? No, she didn't. My boy Zed is saying, "What's up?" Big fan of that. We'll talk about R-Truth here in a minute, man. I'll tell you what. I am a fan of R-Truth, man. R-Truth is the absolute man. I'm a big fan of the man, which is R-Truth. And, he continues to amaze me when it comes to just the ability to reinvent himself, man. And he's doing a great job, and he's been doing a good job the past few weeks. I love just the corniness that R-Truth has. And it's really, really cool. So no one knows who this wrestler is about Roddy Piper, Piper's Pit. Let me do it again. Let me ask this question again. This former WWE wrestler was known for being attacked by Roddy Piper during a 1984 Piper's Pit segment. This former WWE wrestler was known for being attacked by Roddy Piper doing a 1984 Piper's Pit segment. Let's see who knows that. No, people are saying Snuka. No, that's the big coconut incident. Yeah. So that's the coconut incident. No, that's not the correct one. Good guess though, but not quite. Again, ask Chris, #ask Chris if you have a question. Nope, not Orndorff either. Dynamite Kid or Blackjack. Nope. I'm getting all these really cool answers, but none of them were correct, unfortunately. All right, so I think I stumped the live chat, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Frankie Williams. Yeah, Frankie Williams. He was a jobber from Columbus, Ohio. My turf, Columbus, Ohio, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, the best team in college football right now. And I don't care what Clemson or Georgia or Alabama has to say about that. Too bad. We'll see at the end of the year. Ohio State, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so ladies, without further ado, New Day voice, who Goodfellas says. I like it. Look at this bracket here. Here's the bracket for the next couple of weeks. You see this? This is really, really cool. Yes, Rob. Frankie with the blue tights. Yes, GHP. I take it way back. Absolutely. All right. So this is 16 names of WWE wrestlers who never won a single title. Isn't that crazy? A 16 names. Harley Race Hall of Fame, Duggan Hall of Fame, George the Animal Steel Hall of Fame, Cowboy Bob Orton Hall of Fame, Hillbilly Jim Hall of Fame, Jake Roberts Hall of Fame, Dusty Rhodes Hall of Fame, Bad News Brown, maybe Hall of Fame one day. Bam Bam Bigelow, I'm sure he's a shoe-in Hall of Famer one day. One Man Gang, perhaps Hall of Famer one day. Paul Orndorff Hall of Fame, Big John Studd, Hall of Fame credentials. Junkyard Dog Hall of Fame, Hercules, one of the most popular 80s wrestlers, Coco Beware Hall of Fame, and King Kong Bundy, another super popular 80s wrestler. Most of these names are WWE Hall of Famers right now. None of these names won a single WWE championship during their career in the 80s. How about that? So we're going to vote on this one this week, and it should be fun. Should be lots of fun. I've gotten a lot of comments on these tournaments. So Goodfellas says JYD was his favorite growing up. Bam Bam versus Harley should be a tournament finale. We'll see. We'll see. Don't spoil. Don't get people's. What about Zeus? That he says. No, Zeus was there for a hiccup. So he's definitely not an 80s wrestler. He was an 80s celebrity who was a very very popular celebrity, and he was a awesome heel to Hulk Hogan. And the funny thing about that is I've been talking to Zeus's agent of the past couple of weeks to get him on the show. So we'll trying to dot some I's and cross some T's and finalize some things and see Zeus may be on the show. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to always like clash my wrists together. And, yeah, no holds barred, man. 1989, no holds barred. We did our movie review about a month or two back with some popular old school wrestling movies, and wow, I mean, it's like one of those things that no holds barred was so terrible in retrospect, but when I watched No Holds Barred, I was like, man, this is almost 30 years ago. I feel like a kid again, and it was really fun to watch. I really enjoyed watching No Holds Barred when I was a couple months back. It was really cool to relive No Holds Barred and Zeus doing that. Got a lot of ask Chris questions. How do you feel about Luis? I don't know if it's Lewis or Luis. I apologize. How do you feel about the ending for the Pete Dunne and Ricochet match? First of all, that match was absolutely fantastic. I wish that there was a clear-cut winner, but I didn't think there were going to be a clear winner because it was on an NXT tape show. I actually wasn't. I wasn't opposed to having someone be dual champion. I think that to me, that's a takeover. That to me, that just screams a takeover main event. The dual champion, Pete Dunne versus Ricochet. One person's going to be a dual champion. Pete Dunne's had that title for so long, and he's had it since TakeOver Chicago. He beats Tyler Bate, and that was TakeOver Chicago of last year, of 2017. So he's had the title for 13, 14, 15 months. Someone in the chat room let me know when he won that title. I know it was TakeOver of last year. One night, JSP hashtag Milwaukee, or should I say, as I tweeted, hashtag one night in Milwaukee. We'll talk about that for SmackDown. One day, Chris, we're going to talk about the non-Hall of Famers who should be in and why they aren't. Yes, I like that. Let's do that. Remind me on Twitter to do that. we can do that after this tournament's up. This will be a 2-week thing, and we can talk about that. So remind me of that. Brandon's asking, do you think, ask Chris, do you think WWE will stop Brie from wrestling? She's worse. Probably for a second. I mean, she's scheduled for Super Showdown. I think it was her, them two, and Rousey against the Riot Squad. Nothing scheduled for Evolution, and WWE's done a terrible job promoting that event. I mean, they've done a terrible job promoting Evolution. They've promoted their international events more than their domestic event. You know, they've promoted the Australia and the Saudi Arabia event much better than they've promoted an event that's going to be in New York. That, you know, it's from last time I heard is ticket sales. They were getting a little better, but at the same time they were struggling to do ticket sales. So that's really odd. That's really odd to me that they're, you know, spending more of their time promoting two events that like, for instance, they don't need to promote the Saudi Arabia event at all. I mean, you've got Saudi Arabia just basically handing you a big old barrel of money, and you're going to have people in Saudi Arabia, they're going to sell out. They don't even need to stack the card up. Australia, you know, it's good to promote the heck out of that, but they've done a really good job promoting that with Taker and Triple H. And then you have the pay-per-view in the middle, which is Evolution, and they've done a terrible job promoting that. So I don't know why they're doing that.
Yeah. I was gonna mention too, like you said, promote-wise, you got the Australia show, Saudi Arabia is going to sell out. So then I don't think they're too worried about promoting that. It's not even here in the States, so they got to do is keep reminding you that you can watch it on the network. You can get that free trial. I think another thing too with this downfall of wrestling right now with WWE, I would say, is there's so much oversaturation, man. There's so much wrestling content.
Yeah.
We remember 20 years ago, we were just crying for more wrestling because we didn't have it a lot. We just had Nitro and Raw and Saturday night and Saturday night's main event, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Superstars. So their main event, that's all we had. So we wanted more. Now it's the reverse. You have so much when it comes to WWE.
Yep.
You know, of course, you have Powerslam, Powerslam.tv, which me and you both, use and watch. There's wrestling all around the world. There's other wrestling. But with WWE, it's so much content. I think Wrestling Inc. just did a video on that, a few other people, about WWE maybe having too much content.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I guess doesn't hurt, but at the same time, are you really going to run and watch Raw? You can easily DVR. You can watch the Raw highlights.
Right. Right.
Same
Yeah.
with SmackDown.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, Luis. May 20th, 2017 is when Pete Dunne beat Tyler Bank at TakeOver Chicago. Yeah. So that was 17 months ago. So wow, 17 months the guys had the title, and unfortunately, it hasn't really been in big angles. I mean, he had an NXT angle for a second with Roderick Strong. Had some good matches with him, and unfortunately, they haven't really, hasn't been really good angles to really set that up to be a really cool title. It's just kind of been there. All right, so next question. Who managed Eric Escobar? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Escobar. I said his name. I had him on a show a few years back. Who managed Eric Escobar when he was on the SmackDown roster? Who managed Eric Escobar when he was on the SmackDown roster? You weren't ready for that. I'm sure nobody was ready for that. Good job, Rob. Good job. Chrono, Gabriel, Vicky Guerrero. Excuse me. I said excuse me. Yeah, hopefully with NXT UK he gets more storylines. Yeah, I agree with that. Hopefully so, because 17 months is a long time to have the title, but not if you haven't really done anything with it. So we'll see. We'll see with that. All right, let's do another trivia question, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just fire away on these trivia questions. We got a lot of people in the chat room right now. It's hot as it is always. Let's do it, man. Why not? Who originally who originally came out to Brodus Clay's "Somebody Call My Mama" theme song? Who originally came out to Brodus Clay's "Somebody Call My Mama" theme song? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I did it. I did it. All right, so real quick, let me plug the Facebook crowd for those who are watching this on Thursdays. Thank you for joining us. Real quick, good job, Rob and Gabriel, Ernest the Cat Miller. Again, for those who are watching this on the Thursday, this is the live Tuesday YouTube version, but at the same time, stay with us. Thank you so much for joining us on the Facebook Thursday night crowd. The taped, the Attitude Era, I call it the Attitude Era version because it's the tape version of the Tuesday night podcast. However, be sure to tweet at Chris Prolific, during the Thursday podcast and hashtag Ask Chris. So tweet at Prolific, hashtag Ask Chris during the Thursday podcast, and I will respond to you on Twitter while you're watching it on Thursday night. So thank you so much, Thursday night Facebook crowd, for joining us as well. Thank you so much for the everyday audio for the YouTube crowd to check this on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube. Also, this will be this will be new on the Wrestling Inc. audio as well. 339 episodes in, 6.5 years of the Pancakes and Powerslams show. Haven't missed a single week. And ladies and gentlemen, we have the best fans in the world, as I always say. And I mean it. I mean every single bit of it. You know why I mean it? Because I do it for you. Absolutely. Let's do some Ask Chris questions. Am I the only one? GSP's asking this. Am I the only one freaked out by that super small desk they're giving William Regal? They need to put some respect on his name. I like it. Yeah, that is a quite of an odd desk there. They do need to put some respect on his name. I agree with that. All right, so somebody call my mama. Ernest Miller. Yep. Ernest the Cat Miller. Why not, ladies and gentlemen? I got another one. Let's do this. Let's just fire away. Who won the Brawl for All tournament? Does anybody remember that Brawl for All theme song? Yeah. Yeah, the Brawl for All theme song, ladies and gentlemen. Which was all that Brawl for All theme song was also recycled. I remember when I wrote for Bleacher Report years ago, I was a featured columnist at Bleacher Report for almost 3.5 years. And that was one of the list articles that I wrote, the recycled theme song. So if you Google right now, Chris Featherstone recycled theme songs Bleacher Report, you'll get an article from me that I wrote, I don't know, probably 2013, 14, something like that, something around there. Yeah. So we'll Google that and you'll check out all the cool recycled theme songs used by the WWE. So check that out. People are saying Bart Gunn won. No, he lost. Bart Gunn did not win the Brawl for All because they went to WrestleMania. And he won, and he went against somebody, and he lost. So, all right. Who won the Brawl for All? Bart Gunn went to the finals, and then he got knocked out by somebody, unfortunately. Yeah. Ask Chris. Rob is asking, what do you feel is the best storyline going in WWE right now? Seems kind of slow all around, but what do you think is working? I think that's a good point too. I think it is kind of slow all around. I would say the best storyline going on right now. I like the Shield versus Strowman, because it's really putting Strowman over as a heel, because he was like a really strong baby face for a while. You know, organically he turned as a baby face, and then, you know, with being with Drew and Dolph, that's it's a really good job of him being a heel. So and it's good to see the Shield back. I like the Shield. They're not it it's not the same, you know, as it was before. Even when I came back last year, they even made it a little better because they were still doing the gang attacks and stuff like that. But they only really gang attacked Braun Strowman this time, and now they're doing the whole babyface Shield where they're kind of getting beat up and kind of got to kind of have to claw and scratch their way. Yeah, and on Raw they were, you know, doing the whole Young and the Restless Dean Ambrose version, you know, and it was just like, you know, it's just not the same as it was before. So I like the Shield. I'm a big fan of the Shield. However, yeah, I'm just not a big fan of that. Oh, thank you for the tweet. Reminder tweet. Rob is asking who attacked Aleister Black, and I want to know what chat thinks. Seriously stumped here. You know, that's an interesting angle that they're doing right now, because they were interviewing a bunch of people. They were interviewing they interviewed Candice LeRae, they interviewed Tommaso Ciampa, they interviewed EC3, who actually blamed Lars Sullivan, and that started an angle between them two. So I would say, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually Gargano, because it seems like Gargano might be kind of going the heel route soon. And I wouldn't, you know, and it makes sense because Gargano would want a singles match with Tommaso Ciampa, because it was supposed to be a triple threat match. It became a singles match. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was actually Gargano that attacked Aleister Black and starts his heel run, feuding with Black. So that wouldn't be a surprise to me at all. Someone's saying Dijak. His name isn't Donovan Dijak anymore. Someone's saying Matt Riddle. No, Matt Riddle's like the he's like the a huge baby face, man. People love Matt Riddle. So yeah, so Gargano is my choice there. So what's up? What's up with the Brawl for All? No one knows who won the Brawl for All tournament. Are you crazy? No one knows who won the Brawl for All tournament. Come on, you gotta grab the brass ring, and you gotta know your trivia, and you gotta know, as Goodfella just got it right, it was Butterbean. Yes. Yeah. That surprised me too. That surprised me when Dr. Death got knocked out. It seems like because yeah. Because you know, the rumor was they were expecting Dr. Death to win it so they can set up a big push for him against Austin for the title. So yeah, but that never happened, ladies and gentlemen, because Dr. Death got knocked out. And I was a big Dr. Death fan as a kid too. I loved Dr. Death, Steve Williams. I loved the Oklahoma Stampede, Power Slam. He would pick someone up and run and hit him on the turnbuckle and then power slam him. And he was one of the only people that actually did, because British Bulldog did a running power slam, but the whole body was kind of like draped over his shoulder. But Dr. Death actually had him in a slam position the whole time, and did the Oklahoma Stampede that way. So big fan of Dr. Death when I was a kid. So yep. I was a big fan of No Mercy as well. Yeah, I still think No Mercy. I'm not a gamer as much as I used to be. I used to play all the like Raw versus SmackDowns and things like that. But I haven't been a gamer in quite some time. But I still occasionally play No Mercy. My 6-year-old son is he likes No Mercy. and he likes and it's funny because he gets really into No Mercy, and I think it's really cool because No Mercy came out like almost 20 years ago. So yeah, so it's really cool to see that, but I still think it's one of the best video games out right now, out period. I know that you got the 2K19 with Soccer Mom AJ Styles on the cover, but but I think that
right here with No Mercy, Revenge, World Tour, and WrestleMania 2000. But AJ Styles, he said it too. We talked about it. Virtual for Wrestling 1 and 2 was the Japanese version from Japan. They had their Vader on it.
Yep.
Steve Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Was great. If anybody out there listening that still play games, the PlayStation 2, because I actually have what's called a Swap Magic, where you can play imported games.
Yeah.
And I currently have King of Coliseum 2, which has Kenta everyone on that game. The game is one of the best, on there. That game, No Mercy. The 2K series is cool. I mean, I have 18. They're cool, but nothing like the old ones. And Fire Pro Wrestling returns for PlayStation 2 and Fire Pro World. Those are the best wrestling games for our listeners that still play video games.
Yeah.
So y'all do if you want to admit it. You can. If you don't want to admit it, you're lying.
You're a liar.
y'all still play, just not be able to play as much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Someone saying as a technicality, Butterbean won the match, but Bart Gunn won the tournament. If you say so. I think it was one of those like Bart Gunn kind of defending his crown and seeing if he can beat Butterbean. But if you want to say Bart Gunn won, that's there you go, Bart Gunn. All right, so we got another Ask Chris question. Hashtag Ask Chris. Rob is asking if they did a Brawl for All now, who would win? I'm assuming Brock, but if he didn't compete, gonna assume Braun could kill someone with one potato. Backstage. See, I don't know much about just Braun's, just like shoot skills, striking skills. So I don't know. I know he's probably stronger than everybody, backstage. But yeah, Brock's not a good striker either. Brock's, I watched, I think, all of Brock's UFC fights. Brock actually uses his weight. He's a ground and pound guy, but he uses his weight, to kind of tackle people. He's a wrestler. So he uses that ability to do it, but he, as we saw with Frank Mir, he's just not a good striker. So yeah, I don't know. That's actually a good question because I can't think of anybody backstage from what I know. Now, if Jack Swagger was still there, I would say that he would be up there because I heard that he was pretty legit backstage.
Don't forget about Mark Henry.
Yeah, well, he's retired now. So yeah, I definitely think that's actually a pretty good question. Let me kind of think this over a little bit. Thinking of people back, Drew McIntyre. Perhaps he'd be up there. The marvelous one, Mark Mero. Let me think. Shinsuke Nakamura, maybe, because he knows some. Yeah, he's a good kicker. As far as like good strikers, yeah, there's not a lot of. I mean, I'd imagine Roman Reigns could go a round or two. But yeah, that's a pretty good question. I can't think of anybody who's like really dominant. I mean, of course, Braun Strowman from a strength standpoint. But that doesn't always mean anything. I mean, there's always. I mean, I wrestled, and I've beat people bigger than me. So, that just because you're bigger doesn't mean anything. I've done that plenty of times when I used to be an amateur wrestler, and size doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, so, and actually a lot of times size is actually better, for a wrestler, because they can clip their legs and do a leg trip better. So yeah, that's a pretty good question of who would win. I would say, I guess the safe bet would be Braun Strowman. Rob is saying Ziggler, Jason Jordan, Sin Cara. Oh yeah, I heard Sin Cara was pretty legit. Yeah, that's a good one. Riddle did MMA, so that's a good one too. Nakamura, Swagger, Roman, all good responses, guys. Yeah. Maybe Keith Lee. Maybe Keith Lee from just a brawl standpoint. The only thing about Keith Lee, though, is that it would be tough for Keith Lee to go against a quick striker. It would be tough for him to do that. But yeah, if Jack Swagger was still there, I would say Jack Swagger. Brock Lesnar from a I heard Jericho was tough, backstage, but from a brawl for all standpoint, I guess Daniel's saying Lars Sullivan. No, I wouldn't say Lars Sullivan, because he reminds me of it's kind of in the Braun Strowman category as far as someone who's just ridiculously strong, but could be knocked out by someone who's a good striker, is a good, quick, strong striker. That's one of the biggest pitfalls of really big, strong guys, is that because I trained MMA, and I've trained with people smaller and bigger than me. And that's one of the biggest pitfalls with like bigger, stronger guys, is that if you have a faster, quicker, strong guy, they can eat you up, as far as striking is concerned. So now if it's a wrestling, if it's a takedown fest, the person could, the bigger, stronger guy can take them down and do a ground and pound. But however, I mean, if someone's good in jiu-jitsu, they know how to counter a lot of the ground and pounds and change them into submissions. So, pretty interesting conversation, pretty interesting topic there. Thanks for asking that question. Great question. Yeah, you never know. Rick Rude knocked out Warrior with one punch. Yeah, I heard Rick Rude was super, super tough back in the day, from what I heard. Mysterio was put over several bigger guys. Yep, I agree. All right. Most people reward Kurt Angle as the guy who can't be taken down. Yeah, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say Kurt Angle is the guy. Although I think there was a scuffle between him and Lesnar or him and Vince. I think Taker kind of snatched Angle away from a scuffle with Vince, or maybe it was Vince, but I think Taker humbled Angle a little bit. Um, you know, 10, 15 years ago, I would put Taker in there, but he's 53 now. I'm sure he can still go. I'm sure he's still tough as nails, but the quickness isn't there anymore. So yeah, good stuff. Good question, everybody. Whoever asked that, I think it was Rob. Who were the original members of the Brood? Who were the original members of the Brood? How about that? Got all types of questions tonight. All right, what's next? Sasha Banks injured. Pull out the mixed match challenge. Of course, Alexa Bliss injured before then, pulled out the mixed match challenge. Now it's Liv Morgan. What no? I mean, this Evolution pay per view, man. Yikes! And they were saying Sasha's pulled out for the entire mixed match challenge, which is 14 weeks long, which is supposed to culminate at TLC in December. So hopefully she's not out until December. She hasn't wrestled since early September against I think it was like her and Bailey against Dana Brooke and Ember Moon, I think it was. And I think that was the first or second week of September. So yeah, it's pretty tough. It's pretty sad because you have this big Evolution pay per view, and all the females want to be healthy and ready for this inaugural pay per view that's historical. However, the problem is like people are getting injured, and this Evolution pay per view is it's so weak right now. It really is. It's really really weak right now, and they're doing a poor job building it. And no one's getting excited about it, and they're just like they're plugging the Super Showdown and they're going straight um to Crown Jewel. And yeah, I mean, I don't know the severity of her injury right now, but it's enough to take her out for 14 weeks. Now, granted, they could say, okay, this is an injury that you shouldn't be you shouldn't be in the mixed match challenge with this injury. But you're still cleared to wrestle on occasion. She hasn't wrestled the past few weeks. But maybe she can be healing up for Evolution. She's not scheduled for a match at Evolution, but I'm sure she would want to be because she is one of the pioneer. I mean, she's one of the biggest names that really pushed this movement. I mean, really, you have people like Paige in the beginning in NXT, and the Paiges, the Emmas, Natalia's when they were NXT. Of course, Charlotte and the Four Horsewomen, Charlotte, Sasha, Becky Lynch, and Bailey really helped the movement. And perhaps the biggest, the perhaps the biggest element of this revolution is the feud between Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair. That's probably the most pivotal part of making women's wrestling, equal to men's wrestling. They main event it, a pay per view. They main event at Raws. I mean, we saw that before with Lita and Trish, I believe, that main evented the a Raw before years ago. But that was still, Lita and Trish. Of course, they paved the way, but women's wrestling was still viewed as very, very superior. But Charlotte and Sasha, really paved the way to make it as equal as it's ever been. And it's sad that Sasha doesn't have a prominent spot in Evolution, and she was one of the people who really pushed the popularity of the women's division. So, yeah, I think that's pretty tough for Sasha.
I agree. Just say this, she's out 14 weeks. That's significant injury, and this women's evolution, man, it's just and we're for women's evolution. We're not sexist. We want the women to prosper just as much as the men. So me and you, we have friends in the business that are women wrestlers, even some legends. But it's just not a good turnout, man. Like you said, the sandwich in between two is because the Secret Showdown show, which is get promoted super heavy. And then in between that, you got one in the Secret Showdown show, the Australia show. Then in the other end, you got Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
And all in the middle, that's the Women Evolution.
Yep.
And it is nothing to. It's nobody out there you can bring in. Then you feel like, oh man, I gotta watch it now. They said the Stephanie Russell, it would be cool, but Sasha's hurt and everything else is going on. What's really the cash cow,
right?
Or the bait, if you will, to make people really look forward to this,
right?
Because the way it's looking is no disrespect to any of the women, because we know what we do. It's looking like a bad, a Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah.
Or, a halftime heat, or
Jacked. Metal. Yes. Yes. Was it oh goodness, was it the Thursday Raw Thursday or the Tuesday Raw Tuesday? Or I think it was maybe the Thursday Raw Thursday or something. Yeah. Thursday Raw Thursday. Yeah. People are saying Gangrel and the Hardys. That Gangrel and the Hardys were the New Brood. They were the New Brood. That was Gangrel after he managed Gangrel, Edge and Christian. Gangrel, Edge, and Christian are the original members of the Brood.
Yeah, the old rookie Rocky Maivia, Thursday Raw Thursday, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. Let me look at that. Let me see if Thursday Raw Thursday. Let me see that. That's Thursday Raw Thursday. I think that was a thing. Thursday Raw Thursday. Thursday. I can imagine Vince McMahon plugging that. Thursday Raw Thursday. Yes. February 13th, 1997. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man.
Thursday Raw Thursday. Yes. Yes, they did. Yep. Thursday Raw Thursday. Lowell, Massachusetts. That's around your. How far is that from Baltimore? No, Lowell, Massachusetts. Gotcha. 6 hours and 23 minutes from Baltimore, Maryland to Lowell, Massachusetts. Yep. There you go. Gotcha. Sweet.
Look at these legends. Undertaker versus Savio Vega.
Yes.
Stone Cold versus Psycho Sid.
Yep.
Tag champs Owen and Davey Boy versus Farouk and Crush.
Yes.
Bret Hart versus Vader with Paul Bear. And this is so sad because almost 50% of this card has passed away.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah.
If you look at it, literally half the card. Owen Bulldog, Crush, that's 3. Vader's 4, Paul Bear's 5. So not 50%. I see about 30 to 40%.
Yeah. Thursday Raw Thursday, ladies and gentlemen.
Referee, Gorilla Monsoon.
Yep.
Add the little, the incentives. But Yeah, Thursday, Raw Thursday. Definitely the week.
Oh wow. Bret Hart beat Vader in the main event. 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Rocky won the Intercontinental Championship against Triple H. Mosh and Thrasher against Otto Montoya and Bob Holly. Undertaker, Savio Vega, pin. Austin beats Sid by DQ, and then Crush and Farouk beats Owen Hart and the British Bulldog. There you go. Thursday, Raw Thursday. Well, that was pretty cool. Yeah. Lowell, Massachusetts. That's when I think that's where Samoa Joe won the NXT Championship from Finn Balor, too, if I'm not mistaken. Glacier as champ would be better than most current champs, Gruss says. Wow, that's saying a lot. That's a big call there. Glacier, man. Speaking of Glacier, shout out to Glacier coming out with Cody Rhodes at the All In. So that was pretty interesting. All right. Any Ask Chris questions? We'll go ahead and address. Real quick. Big shout out. My prayers go to the victims of Hurricane Florence in North Carolina. It's been some really tough stories going on with Hurricane Florence, and just people losing their homes or a bunch of their homes. I know that Matt Hardy lost his weight room and his I think his theater room because of the hurricane. And so my prayers go out to the families and victims of Hurricane Florence, and definitely may God be with you, and may that's whatever charity or legitimate charity that you find that you can help out in any way. I would definitely promote that. So, all right, so let's go to Cody Rhodes on a possible WWE return. Daniel says he's in Virginia. We're lucky and it missed us. Yeah. Really tough for the victims of North Carolina. Definitely praying for that. Brandon's asking X Chris, what is WWE doing with Finn? Every now and then you get the Dolph Ziggler complex of someone who is a really good worker that they'll kind of push up to the main event, but at the same time they know that he could work. They know that he could be a good intro guy, be a good middle guy, be a good main event guy. And Dolph Ziggler calls it the curse of the worker. And I definitely can see that with Finn Balor, the curse of the worker, because man, he's, I don't know what in the world they could do. I mean, I've said this before. It's the crazy thing is that, I mean, WWE has so many people, and we're about to talk about this with Cody Rhodes too, and perhaps even get Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, because they said that they wanted to go to the same place together. And even if they get them two and try to suck the life out of Ring of Honor, which I think that they won't, to try to stack up NXT to compete against the G1 Supercard, it's like, man, you have so many wrestlers right now. They're so overstacked that there's a lot of people that just can't do, like, where the heck has Apollo Crews been? You know what I mean? Like, just you give people an income to go on main event and live events. You know what I mean? Like that's really, really tough. And now, you have Cody and we haven't seen Anderson and Gallows. They were a part of the tag team tournament, but still, it's like we rarely see them on SmackDown. For a long time we didn't even see the Bar on SmackDown.
only reason why I'm in the bar right now is because the Bludgeon Brothers, Eric Rowan got it.
Right, exactly, because Roman's injured. Yeah, so
You didn't see that. The Usos, full bench, Oscar ran, downloadable content, tag team matches, and
right.
exclusives. Like, what is, yeah, but I think it's the WWE their strength and their weakness. WWE has always been Vince's the land of the giants, and when you're the size of a Mighty Mouse or the Smoothie D for Sesame Street, the super duper Wonder Guy, um, like Finn Balor and them is this tiny little super guy. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like you get lost, and it's like, what do? And then Finn can be 205 live. Finn is basically taking the place of Ziggler the past couple years.
Yep.
Because for Drew Galloway, Ziggler was just there. In baseball, he's a utility player.
Yep.
You main event. Okay, we need you to open the show. Okay, we need you to hold the belt for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, we need you to be WWE Shop Zone.
Right.
That's it. If he was in New Japan, or of course, he's big international following. You take Apollo Crews and these other people who take him to ROH to New Japan, or Lord knows Impact cross the line /
Cross the line.
There will be a little. It would be easier for them to get over because their marketability and their main market and main promotion isn't so much on size.
Yeah.
WWE, that's the case. And you got, we've seen Finn. Finn loves everyone. Finn as champ is cool, but he's even tiny compared to Seth Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
Rollins is considered, and Dean Ambrose is nice-sized guys. They're considered small in the WWE's world.
Yep.
So that's just the.
Yep. That's the reality of it. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's tough. It's tough to really put Finn in the main event spot. I mean, there was the rumor that he was going to go against Brock, at the Rumble. But Vince, nixed that reportedly, via rumor. So, it's one of those things, man. He's a really good worker. He's and it goes back to those. It goes back to, would he have been better if he was just like an NXT mainstay, because he was the man in NXT. He has that kind of larger than life thing with his entrance, and then the paint and things like that, which I appreciate, but there's no gimmick to Finn Balor, and except for when he wears the paint, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to oversaturate that. But it's like, other than when he's in the paint, Finn Balor looks like a regular guy, a normal guy, and there's nothing that really stands out. I mean, of course, he has one of the best entrances in WWE, but it's like, outside of your entrance, when you go into the ring, great moves, great wrestler, but you don't stand out from anyone else. I mean, and that's, at the end of the day, I was on a conference. Both of us, you and I, were both on a conference call today, Tuesday. It's a Wednesday now, but Tuesday afternoon, we were on a conference call with Jay Lethal and Madison Rayne, and I asked him about that. I asked Jay Lethal, it's like, man, we live in a gray area of wrestlers that that people are just not really appreciating the art of the babyface and the art of the heel, and Lethal agreed. He said if it was up to him, he said his preference is a really good guy and a really hated bad guy. He said he appreciates that character thing. That's what drove him to loving professional wrestling, and that's what drove me to loving professional wrestling. And it's like, when you have a bunch of wrestlers in the ring with no characters, that's the reason why the ratings are the lowest it's ever been, because there's nothing that stands out. The character development of these wrestlers in WWE is absolutely suspect. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. There's hardly anyone that I get excited to cheer or I get excited to boo. There's hardly anyone like that. And that's, we can have this new wave of fans as much as we want that really likes the wrestling matches, which, there's a place for that. I think that, good wrestling matches, for instance, Ricochet and Pete Dunne at NXT was it was an amazing match. However, I think at the end of the day, the bigger overarching thing is that there's nothing character-wise of like, man, I really want this guy to lose, or I really want this guy to win triumphantly, that's pulling people to wrestling. Right now the product is driving people away more than it's pulling people to. So, and I think that's a really dangerous spot.
Even though the wrestling in the ring may not have been as athletic, if you look at the 80s and the 90s of WCW, NWA, especially WWEE, it was so character driven. Hogan, think about the roster and the whole card. You had Rick D'Amato, Martel, Tito Santana, Shawn Michaels. You had Junkyard Dog, Dusty Rhodes. Everybody was a character. And I'm talking about starting the match off. Strike Force, the Rock Foundation, Demolition.
Exactly.
The Steiner Brothers. You had the Mountie.
You got the Rougeau singing, "We're all American boys. All American boys." Yeah.
Still had the Rock and Roll Express,
yep.
Night Express, Sting, Dusty, Magnum TA, Flair. You had Rick Rude, Manny Fernandez, even in Alex Wright, Disco.
Yes, that's Wonderkin.
Liz Mark Jr., the Parker, you still look at these cards. Craig Pittman, Bradley Parker. These guys had characters, even if it was the beginning of the match to the main event, not even knowing their Sting, Hogan, or Luger, or
right.
Hall. You look at Glacier. It's like, okay, but he's it's all about characters. And people wanted to watch. They wanted to care.
Yeah. Yep.
You just said Savio Vega in the nation. Savio Vega had a good talk about Puerto Rico.
Right.
They were Puerto Ricans.
Yeah. Los Pericas. What? Los Pericas. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
My good buddy Tom Brady, Salvatore Sincere. Everyone had a character, something about them.
Yep. That stood out.
And now it's just, Finn Balor.
Right. Yeah. Just comes in with a jacket, has a cool entrance, and then, normalcy. Yeah. And awesome in the ring, but nothing else. It's sad because I really like Apollo Crews, but nothing. All right, let me fire away these Ask Chris questions, and we'll get to grading Raw and SmackDown. We talked a lot about Raw. We'll grade Raw and SmackDown. Real quick, Goodfellas asking WWE long-term strategy of not building stars and making the brand the star. It's going to backfire and make the fans not care and have no one to root for or care about. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's the reason why the ratings are tanking. Gruss is asking, ask Chris, would the WWE be better if it reduces the number of shows and pay-per-views they put on in a year? Well, they did reduce the number of pay-per-views. It was up to like 14, 15, 16, no, I think it was up to like 19 in 1 year, and they brought it down to like 14 or something like that. But now if you adding these, the Saudi Arabia stuff, and it's going back, creeping back up there, what I mean? But it's the thing is with WWE, they're seeing so much money, with these pay-per-views, that it's like, yeah, it's oversaturation, but it's money in our pocket. So, I mean, I understand it from a business standpoint, so I can't really fault them there. But how much is it damaging your product altogether? And I think that's something they should consider. Zed is asking, have you heard any news about TV networks being interested in pro wrestling outside of WWE? I know about Ring Warriors on WG in America, but wonder if you had more information. Now, speaking of WG in America, from what I heard, WG in America was kind of, gauging over the numbers for All In. Now, Cody and the Young Bucks haven't said that they want to start, anything like that. But I personally think that NWA would be a perfect spot for WGN. I think NWA needs to be televised. I think the 10 Pounds of Gold series is awesome. I think it can continue. I understand that the NWA want to be kind of like a underground type of thing, kind of building from, and I like it. I really, really respect that. But I think there's a lot of money that could be, potentially done. Of course, ROH, they're owned by Sinclair, so they're with WG and affiliates and things like that. So, yeah, ROH is televised. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood was televised somewhere. I forgot where I saw it at on TV, but that was Championship Wrestling from Hollywood was televised as well. But like I said, I forgot the channel though. So yeah, I mean, there's some alternatives out there, of course, and of course, Impact Wrestling is a weekly television. Let me see. I see a couple more. Let me see. I'm gonna try to get as many as I can. Gabriel's asking, since it seems like WWE can push anyone they really want to, who would you want to see WWE push? See, it's kind of tough because there's a lot of people who don't really have a good character right now. Drew McIntyre's a safe answer, but it's pretty inevitable that they are going to push him. If I can choose anyone, I would say, I really like Apollo Crews. I don't know how they could do it, but I think he has the ability to have some, to have some stellar matches, work on his character somehow, and push the guy, man. I think he's awesome. I think there's one more. All right, JSP, I hold a soft spot in my heart for anyone that is ill, but do you think them putting the Connor's Cure segment on TV with all the heels and faces is the right thing to do? That is an excellent question. That is an excellent question. It really is. I was thinking about that too. So you're not the only one. You're not the only one. I don't know. I don't want to say it wasn't because, we definitely support the reasoning for Connor's Cure, and but if it was up to me, I would have kept it in kayfabe and had all the baby faces out there. Honestly, Big Show's been doing the Connor's. He's been doing kind of like this, been the spokesperson over the past few weeks. Maybe Big Show's a baby face or a heel when at the snap of a finger, whenever you want him to be. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, he's immortal. But yeah, I think all the baby faces personally, if you want to stick to it being professional wrestling, I think that I would have had the baby faces out there just to stick with kayfabe. Now backstage, everybody rush all the people from the Connor's Cure and embrace them like crazy. It's so funny because I can't stand You Deserve a Chance, but that is one time when I absolutely loved the You Deserve a Chant when they did that presentation and the crowd in Denver started saying You Deserve it. I absolutely loved it, and I agree with it 100%. It was a very timely chant for that presentation. So, kudos to that as well. So.
You and I know being at Manias together and other shows is Burgers on Biscuits. You Deserve a Chance. I'm with you. When that happens, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
Take someone who's been off for 2. You still got it. You deserve it.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Fight forever. Oh gosh, please. Fight forever. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna. This is how I feel about Fight Forever chants. Big fat buzz. I think there's probably one Fight Forever chant that I enjoyed ever, and that was when Shinsuke Nakamura went against Sami Zayn at Takeover before Mania. I think that was the only time I enjoyed that. But it was like, man, these chants are just. Ugh.
Trying to steal a book from Monday Night Football. They added the female commentator, and they decided to add Renee Young.
Yeah.
But the NFL was smart. Because you know what happened? She was on there for 1 week, the first week of Monday Night Football. Everyone said the same thing. Look, we can't deal with her voice. Her voice is annoying. And guess what? She's not been back on the main broadcast booth. You better doing anchor work, working on the field. WWE still uses Renee Young. Like, she's great, but she's not. It doesn't fit her.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah. All right, one more Ask Chris question, and then we're going to grade Raw and SmackDown. Chris is asking, what should happen in the business if the NWA got a big financial backer like WCW in the 80s? Like I've said this before, man, I would make Chris Jericho one of the top guys. I would make him. My first angle for NWA would be Chris Jericho versus Sami Callihan. That would be the first main event for that show. I think that's can generate a big buzz. Well, it would probably be like a semi-main event for like if they had an NWA. I would bring like a NWA television championship or something like that. But Cody Rhodes is champ now. I think he main event great against anyone. A rematch against Nick Aldis or something like that would be safe. So yeah, I think there's plenty of talent out there that can make a really, really good alternative brand. So we'll see. We'll see where NWA goes. All right, one more trivia question, then we'll grade Raw and SmackDown. Just grades, and then we'll do the tournament. What was Bill DeMott's name and finishing move name in WCW? What was Bill DeMott's name and finishing move name in WCW? All right, simple grades. Raw and SmackDown. We talked a lot about Raw. Both in Denver. Shield, the in-ring promo, Finn Balor defeating Jinder Mahal. Connor getting her win. I think I read some stats somewhere that was his first TV win since NXT in 2013. So that was his first win, singles win in 5 years. Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre defeating the Revival. The Elias bit with Kevin Owens, and then Leo Rush, which I really like Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley. Lashley winning by DQ. Nia Jax beating Lisa Fox, and then the Shield defeating Baron Corbin at ALP. I like the Shield and ALP thing that they were doing. I appreciate that. SmackDown, yeah, C+. I'd give it like a C-. I was out. Didn't do too much for me. I like the main event, but everything else was just kind of blah for me. Yeah. SmackDown, the Truth TV. I love the Truth TV. R-Truth is the absolute man. I loved it. Miz defeating R-Truth. Sheamus defeating Big E. I don't like the tag teams losing in singles matches. I don't like that. The Rusev and Aiden English bit. I like that. I'm starting to get into that. The whole saga where Lana, One Night in Milwaukee. Naomi and Asuka defeating Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Ty Dillinger beating Nakamura by DQ because of Randy Orton attacking, and then Randy Orton saying that Dillinger's not the next victim. He just can't stand the 10 chance. Which is really good for a heel. And then the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe stuff that I'm just not into. I'm not. Yeah. I say a solid C because of the truth, and I say C minus for Raw. So yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Flavor of the week. Let's get into the first round of this tournament.
It is now time for the flavor of the week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Did we get anything with Hugh Morris? I didn't see that. There's people saying okay, there we go. There we go. Zombie, and Daniel, Gabriel, and GHP, but okay, Gruss. Okay, yeah, okay. Yep. Good job, guys. Hugh Morris, no laughing matter. Hugh Morris, no laughing matter. Great job. All right, so let's jump right into this tournament. Real quick, guys. First round, I'm going to take the first few of them. It seems like it's trending, kind of like how we do the votes and the real deal. So yeah, all right. So let's do the first round. Hillbilly Jim versus Jake the Snake Roberts. Hillbilly Jim versus Jake Roberts. Who you got? Gabriel's asked Chris if you can build a faction of new debut talent, who will it be in it? Oh, remember to ask me that next week, Gabriel. That's a really, really good question. Really good question. Daddy's home. Rob says. All right, so Jake wins that one. I'm seeing Jake. Or as it says in the WrestleFest game, Jake DDT. I was a big fan of WrestleFest back in the day. All right, so Jake wins that one. All right, let's zoom through here. Next, we have Coco Beware versus King Kong Bundy. Coco Beware versus King Kong Bundy. What we got with that? Isaiah said, yes. Wow, WrestleFest mentioned. You better believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Off the top rope, perfect plex. Jake, TDT. All right, come on, guys. What you got? King Kong Bundy or Coco Beware? Okay, so Bundy, of course. A lot of people are saying Bundy. I think that was pretty obvious. All right, here's the next one. As Jesse Ventura would say, Animal Steel, George the Animal Steel against Cowboy Bob Orton with the real raspy voice, the Cowboy Bob Orton. Which one do you got? Animal Steel or Orton? Animal Steel or Orton? What we got? All right. We got Orton. Gus is asking who are the original members of the Legion of Doom. That's a good question. Roberts. Brandon's asking all right. All these questions. Do you like the Ministry Undertaker gimmick with this faction? No, that was a quick question. All right, JYD, Junkyard Dog, Hercules. JYD and Hercules. Let's get these right quick. What you got? Who you got? Hercules or JY Dizzle? JY Dizzle. All right, looks like we got some. Looks like JYD. That would have been my guess as well. All right, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Beat people up. Harley Race. Duggan or Race? Which one you got? This is let's hurry up with this one here. Duggan or Race? Duggan or Race? What we got? Duggan or Race? Duggan or Race? All right. I'm seeing Race. I'm seeing Holly. All right. Dusty Rhodes, Bad News Brown. Dusty Rhodes, Bad News Brown. Which one you got? Dusty Rhodes, Bad News Brown. Who we got? 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 All right. Who we got? Who we got? Dusty Rhodes, Bad News Brown. Dusty Rhodes, Bad News Brown. Okay. All right. As we finish this, it's like Dusty. As we finish this, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. 339 episodes. There's a couple more. Paul Orndorff versus Big John Studd for the first round. You can put those in the chat as we close. And the next one is Bam Bam Bigelow against One Man Gang. All right. So those are the two. Put them in the chat. Until, ladies and gentlemen, until next week, God bless you all. It's been an honor, as always. On behalf of Evan Tech Proud, this is Chris Featherstone. God bless you all. And until next week, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless. And always remember, I'll do it for you. Follow at Chris Prolific. Follow Crave Wrestling. God bless you all. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.